I never chop a dime, Paul. Paul, what is the point in our funds? What is it? It is my baby.
That makes sense. It's your bank.
It's my bank. I gave back to the bank.
Well, but they say people set up a bank and rob it.
Yeah, but how can you do that? If people do it, looking at where I have come from, migrated it from an unregulated institution to a regulated space, and now to a universal bank, why will I want to do that? Paul, I was also being insulted. And that was when I got amazed how narrative can be turned and twisted. And in the absence of information, people can do all kinds of things. I thought that let me be patient. The matter was under investigation, so if you saw my press release, I released a press release statement to say, listen, this matter is under EOCO. Please be patient. EOCO is currently working on, and in due time, every money will be duly accounted for. And every money has been duly accounted for. From EOCO to SIT, this thing had been under investigation for the past 2 years. And that's why I'm having this conversation with you now. Paul, you know, I have restrained myself from talking to you.
We are grateful for that. But it's something that we have to check in this country about. So all the things we heard on radio at that time, how were you explaining it to people, your mentors, your shareholders, your customers? Because they said in the morning that Ato Essien took X amount of money from liquidity support and chopped it. What about the Bolders advisors, which we all read?
Paul, that is probably one of the unfortunate documentation put together by a consultant. How can a consultant put a documentation of that nature together and use words like piggy bank? It's as if the gentleman had something against me, and I wonder the day I meet him, I ask him, sir, where do you know me from? Did I do anything to offend you? Because if you're doing such a report, Paul, the courtesy or the right thing to do is to tell me. Because, Paul, in finance, a debit can become a credit and a credit can become a debit based on the narration. And nobody had institutional memory more than William Ato Essien because I founded it. I understood. So if you're going to talk to people who had worked with the institution for just a year or a year and a half, what institutional memory did they have to help you to situate figures?
Are you suggesting to us that the Bolders advisors never spoke to you?
They never spoke to me.
Never?
Paul, never.
The majority shareholder?
Never, Paul.
Really?
So sad, never.
I mean, they were doing an audit of your bank.
Of my bank.
And you are the majority shareholder. You had been MD of the bank. They never spoke to you.
They never spoke to me, Paul. They never spoke to me.
Who did they speak to then?
I don't know who they spoke to.
Who commissioned the Bolders advisors report?
I don't know.
But it is that report that leaked into the media. That Bolders advisors that leaked into the media.
But that's what I heard. That was what I heard. That was why I said I didn't want to speak at the time because the noise was too much. Because Bolders reports, you're doing such a very important document like that. The founder.
Who else do you know that they spoke to in your bank? Apart from, they didn't speak to you, yes? Did they speak to board of directors?
Well, I think they spoke to Imanukwe. He had been with the bank for just about a year and 2 months.
What was he?
CFO.
Okay.
He had been with the bank for just about a year and a half. And then they spoke to, I think, the managing director. Yes. But he had been for just about 2 years.
Did they speak to the chairman of the board?
I'm not sure.
They didn't?
I'm not sure.
And for you are certain they didn't speak to you?
They never spoke to me, Paul.
That cannot be a
They never spoke to me.
That certainly cannot be a good job.
They never spoke to me.
That you're doing an audit of a bank and you are checking what the bank has used liquidity support for.
That's right.
And you don't speak to the majority shareholder who's also the director of the company.
That's right.
And then you accuse him.
You accuse him.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yes.
That's very wrong.
And you use words like he was using his piggyback. I mean, I was not managing director. I mean, who does that? And again, I said,
where that report was. So there's nowhere in the report where they said Ato Essien told us that they couldn't quote you.
No, they couldn't quote me anyway. You can check it.
They didn't speak to you.
They never spoke to me.
Oh, but that's
they never spoke to me.
Discomforting.
They never spoke to me. They never spoke to me. And I come back to the same point. It was my baby. Look, when this thing happened,
you know that Bolders advisors had done some work on your bank for the government at the Ministry of Finance or the bank.
When this thing was in the media, I was hearing figures being flying everywhere. It didn't make sense to me. So, where is the source of these figures? Because it didn't make sense. Paul, I hear about solvency. Listen, an insolvent bank, in the presence of market confidence, can correct the insolvency. A solvent bank, in the presence of no market confidence, will collapse.
Let's understand that again. So you mean a solvent bank?
Yes.
Okay, Barclays, solvent.
Yes.
When there's no market confidence and we are all going for our money,
everybody's going for their money.
Barclays won't survive.
Barclays won't survive.
An insolvent bank, Bank X,
yes,
even Capital,
yes,
has confidence.
Yes.
So we are not going for our money.
Market confidence is there.
We don't know that they are insolvent
we don't
because we're not going for our money.
That's right.
Nobody is announcing to us press conference after press conference that we are insolvent. So we are not coming.
We are not.
So you take a bank like the Consolidated Bank. You are suggesting that if government were to give them 5 billion today,
yes,
and people don't have confidence, and everybody is waiting for the money I had at Unibank, the money I had at Beige, the money I had at this, and the money I had at that, and we hear that Consolidated has been giving them money, we all go for it.
We all go for your money.
They become insolvent
the same afternoon. Because currently, look what had happened to Ghana. We're going to need about 5 years, 10 years to right it or wrong. For confidence to come back in the system, because people are putting money under their bed.
So you said we shouldn't. So you are saying that insolvency,
yes,
is not a mathematical concept.
It's not a mathematical concept.
Sociological
it's a sociological concept.
That's interesting.
Yes, sir.
So you don't look at figures and say the bank is insolvent.
No,
it has a lot to do with sociology. If there's no confidence, every bank will be insolvent. Goldman Sachs,
every bank,
Merrill Lynch,
every one of them, Check.
So do you want to sue?
I have sued.
Oh, you have?
I have.
Oh, I see.
I have sued the Bank of Ghana.
I see.
I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have. I have.
But you're a Christian. You don't want to forgive?
I have forgiven, but my property must be protected. My property must be protected under the Property Protection Act. We're a property owning democracy. Hard work must be rewarded.